I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the recording here. Right, so couple things I want to go over. So we've got the meeting notes themselves that are up there for our general direction, focus on PvP, getting things rolling off the bat, and basically going from there. So I wanna focus down on a few different things. So right now we've all recently gone ahead and moved into the area. Folks have been getting on, we've been getting recruitment going, which is fantastic. I just want to touch base on everything we've been doing thus far, basically as a corporation, as generally as members, and then reaffirming the direction in which we're going, which is to begin building things effectively and selling them so that we have a base income allowance to be able to do the rest of the things that we want to be able to do, which is blow shit up. So for the first set of the general direction for the corporation, I want us to be able to focus on utilizing the build projection of capitals specifically for the time being. The reason for that is we need to be able to have an offensive capability on the heavier side, because Sigma's first intent is to ensure that we have standby capitals for usability, for general defense, offensive capability, deployments, and that sort of stuff. Now, this doesn't mean that everybody has to drop what they're doing and start getting in the gaps. This just means if you have an alt that's currently on the back burner that's training towards that stuff, we kind of need you to do that. If you don't have one and you're very new, then don't worry about it. It's specifically for the guys who have the ability to do so, like myself, Vazia, Tangled, Biakar, so on and so forth, right? The guys who've actually got the multiple years to be able to put the training towards it. I don't expect anybody new to be able to get into that stuff, unless you want to fucking throw like a few £1,000 at the game to get your shit leveled up that quickly. But hey, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. So, cap production is going to be the first thing we want to go ahead and try to focus on. That's going to be number one. That's going to be a passive sort of thing, though. So even though it's the primary, even though it's the first thing on the list, excuse me, it's not going to be the primary focus. It's going to be something that we add to the pool. So we add resources and stuff to the pool whenever we've got the ability to do so. So let's say we've got a corporate moon op on, I don't know, next Sunday or something, and we go out, we pull the resource from that and we put it towards the pool for the usability of the cap production, something like that. It's not going to be a front burner sort of thing, it's going to be a back burner thing, because it's a capital operation. It's going to be huge, it's going to take a lot of resources, and going to take a lot of time. The first thing I want to focus on is doctrine, usability, and compliance, because first thing we need to be able to do is protect ourselves, both offensively and defensively. So the Sigma doctrines, you already have an understanding of which ones to train for. It's the assault frigs, the mainline munions, the battleships, ONIs, ENIs, that sort of stuff. Most of you guys already have that training from the stuff that we were doing in Re prior. So a lot of you guys are already good in that. For the newer players, focus on the rifters and focus on long points, tackle, that sort of stuff. So you get yourselves into the ability to actually be on operations and be a part of the process of fights as well at the same time. It's really important that you get that knowledge early on, as soon as you can, as quickly as possible, so that you have a scope to kind of sit on when you're going about this process. So that's priority number one. That's the main focus that we want to be going for. Second one is the back burner for the capital production, and the third one is actually recruitment. So we've been getting in a couple new dudes here, which is fantastic. We've got Froggy in, which is great. Then we've got Dex in, who's also an Aussie bro. He's, basically the third personality of a Conan and Mick, so that's something to look forward to. I want to try to be able to increase recruitment specifically for the Aussie side and for the European side, because in my opinion that's a little bit lacking. We've got a solid amount of dudes, enough dudes in the US time zone, in the late US time zone. We need a little bit more in the early US, but not too many more, and we need a good chunk for the Europeans and the Australians. Those two specific time zones, EU and AU, they need to be covered. We need at least 10 more dudes in the European time zone, and to be honest, 15 in the Australian. Probably about five extra bodies in the early US time zone as well. So if we can get that covered, then that'd be fantastic. So if you don't know how to do recruitment, just jump online in the game, go to English recruitment, and just have a look around for people who are looking for corporations, start conversations, make jokes, that sort of stuff, post memes and whatnot, and just get a general vibe of individuals who are looking to join up or to be a part of something, and get a feel for them, recruit them if you want to, or at least pass along their information to the official recruiters if you're not a recruiter yourself, to bring more bodies in, because that's basically what we need. The more people we have, the more usability we have to be able to do the things that we want to be able to do. So I'm going to move on to, let's see here, the final point, which is armory building. And this is effectively general stockpiling for everybody, not just for the corporation itself. Everybody, I'm going to expect you guys to have a couple doctrine ships, not straight away. I'm not going to expect you to have it by tomorrow or something like that, or in like a week or 2 weeks at a time. This is just a general scope of things for you to focus on, so that you have a goal to kind of edge towards whilst you're doing the cap stuff, whilst you're doing the recruitment, whilst you're learning PvP. It's just like a fourth thing, basically. And this is something that I want you to put in as good practice. It's not something I'm going to push on you guys, but it's generally good practice to have, so that you have a backup. So the way we run the corporation, these guys already know, we run it fairly militarily, but also laid back and lax, right? So what I want to kind of throw to you guys is to be able to have a ship that you can go punch things in, make your money at the same time, and have backups for the first kind of ship that you utilize. So let's say you're using, I'll use Froggy here, right? Let's say he's using a Rifter. You want to have a backup for that Rifter should you lose it. Maybe one, maybe two. It depends really on you and the cost factor of the doctrine ship. If you can afford two, fantastic. If you can afford more, then it's really up to you. But having a backup for the one that you're currently utilizing to go on operations, either PvP or PvE, doesn't really matter. Having a backup available is really, really important, and it's good practice for you to be able to utilize, so that you have the ability, should you lose it, to then not have to go out and spend your own money to get another one. The whole point of this is to get into the mindset of preparedness as well as retention of your funds, because you don't know, and neither do I, at any point in circumstance for the future, where there will come a point in time where either you have no funds available, there's a war that comes up that prevents you from being able to get funds within the area, in this case ratting, mining, ice mining, huffing, PI, whatever it is, and that, the destabilization of the sector prevents you from being able to pull in the funds that you require. So it's preparedness for that sort of stuff as well, when that shit can happen. And Pierre can attest, as him and I have been in a lot of fucking fights before, and I've got a lot of experience. Sometimes when it gets nasty, it gets real fucking nasty. So you want to just be prepared for that sort of stuff. All right, that is about it for the meeting.